6.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas ticket.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to Veterans Air, the Veterans Hour, your source for news, talk, and uncensored commentary here on your Lone Star Community Radio. I am your host, Douglas B., and you can listen to us live the first Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. By listening to Conroe's FM's very own 106.1 and 104.5. Catch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Our City TV, and wherever you get your fine podcasts. As always, a little housekeeping before we get started today. You can contact Veterans Air through our website at www.veteransair.us. Leave us a message, send us an email, or better yet, text us in the studio on our Google phone, 936-344-3083. I have a warning that goes along with today's show. Today's show title is 63 Days and Counting to the Election. Don't have a guest, so that means I'm on my soapbox. So here's the warning for today's show. Today's show does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of this station, its advertisers or sponsors, or this show's advertisers or sponsors. Today's show's topic is not suitable for Never Trumpers, MAGA Republicans, donkeys, elephants, or other zoo animals, snowflakes, your cousin, bless his heart, farm animals, or small children. Finally, today's show should not be viewed or listened to by the sarcasm impaired. Dick, I'm going to do our best to get the FCC to come shut us down today. I'm good at that. So, my good listeners, we're 63 days and counting from the election, and I can't believe that I have to give yet another lesson on civics and this country's state of affairs. But apparently, some of you haven't been paying attention. Just how gullible and easily led around by the nose are some of you people. Just because someone keeps saying it doesn't make it true. The USA was never a democracy. It was never a representative democracy or any other form of democracy. Ever. It was also never meant to be a democracy. The United States of America, since its inception, was always meant to be a constitutional republic. Sure, we have some aspects of democracy, such as how we run our elections, but even that is tempered by a republic-style electoral college. I swear, if I hear one more idiot say that this is the most important election and that the opponent is a threat to democracy, I'm going to throw up. The fact is, I'm a threat to democracy. You're a threat to democracy. We should all be a threat to democracy. Democracy is mob-led rule. Simple as that. Whatever the mob says is the rule. We have enough of that already in today's society. We don't need any more of it just because some jackwagons are actively working to make that happen. Yeah, I said it. There's people out there actively working to turn this constitutional republic into a democracy, into mob-led rule. Pay close attention, because I'm getting tired of repeating myself. Your rights, guaranteed by the Constitution, cannot take away from my rights guaranteed by the Constitution. But it can and does happen in a democracy. You don't want a gun? It's simple. Don't own one. Under a constitutional republic, you can either buy a gun or not buy a gun. The choice is yours. Don't want an abortion? You don't have to get one in a constitutional republic. You do not have to get an abortion if you don't want to. In a democracy, if the mob doesn't want an abortion, no one can have one, and so on and so forth. You see what I did there, how I switched that up? In a constitutional republic, the Constitution protects the citizens from mob rule and the government. That's the purpose of the Constitution, is to protect you from everybody else and from your own government. If we think back to our founding documents, the founding fathers had just fought a war for independence from the King of England. And they were very concerned that the government can infringe upon the rights of American citizens. It's no secret. I am a constitutional anarchist. I said it. And I'm proud of it. That means I think we should overthrow our current form of government and return to the practice of a constitutional republic and the Constitution. This is the part where the FCC is going to come shut us down, Dick. Did I just paint a big target on my back? Probably. Probably so. But if I'm not on some government's watch list by now, someone's not doing their job. I don't think we need to have a constitutional convention to change the Constitution. I say this because when we have one, too much can go wrong. When you have a constitutional convention, you're not just changing those parts of the Constitution that may or may not need to be changed, but you're changing the whole Constitution. Everything's open. There's no safety there. I just think that a constitutional convention that there's too much that could go wrong, and trusting that to our elected or appointed officials is frankly to most Americans, is something that we should not do. We don't need to change the Constitution. We need to read it. If you haven't read the founding documents recently, send me a message and I'll send you a copy totally free. I'll even pay the postage. And someone requesting a copy will also receive this Representative Government Training Course, authored by my good friend, mentor, and co-founder of Veterans Air, Master Chief Pete Koch. May he rest in peace. You remember Master Chief Pete, don't you, Dick? Good man. Came up with the idea of Veterans Air. Pete used to quote the founding fathers. And he was very fond of quoting Daniel Webster, a very smart man. Daniel Webster said, "Hold on, my friends, the Constitution and the Republic for which it stands. Miracles do not cluster, and what has happened once in 6,000 years may not happen again. Hold on to the Constitution, for if the American Constitution should fail, there will be anarchy throughout the world." Daniel Webster, 1776. The Constitution should be at the forefront of your thoughts for the next 63 days. If you're like me, it's at the forethought for every day. Now, the Constitution and the founding documents were written in such a way that they can be added to and taken away from. But we hold some of these rights, some of these amendments to the Constitution to be sanctosanct. I think that's the word I'm looking for. And we call these things the Bill of Rights. I think today's society has forgotten about how to apply the Constitution to current events. The Constitution is meant to be applied to current events. It's not meant to be just for what's happening in 1776. Now, we're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about the current events and what they mean and what they don't mean, and how I think about this. But before we do that, because I'm going to go get on my high horse, we need to give a shout out to our sponsors. Veterans Air is made possible by the support of East Meets West Productions, a full-service business and marketing consultants helping veterans start and fund their business for over 30 years. For more information, if you need help funding your business or starting your business as a veteran, please call EMW Productions at 936-904-0044 and tell them Douglas B. from Veterans Air sent you over. I also want to give a shout out, and we have this great little commercial, to United Healthcare and my agent, Andrea Corpening. Just Andrea, just call her. Andrea has helped me out and other veterans so much with their insurance needs above and beyond what you can get at the VA. You deserve it to yourself to give her a call. Go ahead and play her commercial for me, would you, Dick?
Medicare can be confusing, but it doesn't have to be. My name is Andrea Corpening, and I am an agent authorized to offer AARP Medicare plans from United Healthcare Insurance Company. I can guide my clients through understanding Medicare coverage options and help them discover what may make AARP Medicare plans from United Healthcare a great choice. I can be reached at 281-773-6239. That's Andrea Corpening at 281-773-6239. I can help those find a plan with confidence.
Welcome back to Veterans Air, the Veterans Hour. Let's talk about some current events. Let's talk about what's going on today. And this is the part of the show that should not be listened to by the sarcasm impaired. Let's talk about the economy and the election that's coming up. If you are better off today than you were 4 years ago, then vote for the ass party that's created this economy. If you're not better off than you were, it's because you don't understand Bidenomics. I practiced a little cackle, but I couldn't get it right, so I'm not going to do it for y'all. The fact is, Uncle Joe inherited the worst economy in history, along with the worst inflation. If it wasn't for the Inflation Reduction Act, we would still have the 9.1 inflation rate as it was in June of 2022. That is, as everyone knows, was caused by the Elephant Party. The fact is, grocery prices are coming down, and you can see that reflected in your grocery bill every day. That's a fact. It's undisputed. The economy is not difficult. The economy and inflation is really simple. Supply and demand, I don't know if you all remember this, supply and demand determines what something costs. The more the demand of it and the less supply of it, the higher the prices go. Inflation, however, is misunderstood. Inflation is the percent of how quickly prices are rising. Now, let me ask you a question. If you made a widget and you sold the widget for $1, and then for whatever reason, the cost to make that widget went up, so now you have to sell that widget for $2. Inflation is the percent of how quickly that price is rising. If you got someone to pay $3 for a $1 widget, would you ever lower your prices? Of course not. When they say inflation is coming down, all that really means is that the cost of goods and services are not rising as fast as they were. That's economics in a nutshell. Now, there is a candidate out there saying that on day one, they're going to fix the problem of your grocery bill by mandating price control over your groceries. They're going to say that a loaf of bread is going to cost $5 and that's it. You don't have to pay any more for that. But that doesn't take into consideration all the costs involved in creating that $5 loaf of bread. It doesn't count for the cost of the farmer to grow it, the energy and gas and diesel he needs to get it to market. It doesn't account for the cost of the bakers to bake that loaf of bread, the production line that creates the plastic wrap to put the bread in or the cost to get that good to market. I think that that is a short-sighted way of fixing inflation and grocery prices. And they've tried that before through history, most recently in Venezuela. And you see how well it's worked out for them. Let's talk about the border crisis. The fact is, we have a secure border. Let me say that again. The fact is, we have a secure border. And we always have, since 2020. Since 2020, our southern border has been the most secure it's ever been in the history of this country. And that's a fact. While it may be true that a few hardworking immigrants have crossed over into the USA by not using the designated port of entries, this is no worse than making your own exit when the highway is backed up. The fact is that almost all of these immigrants are the best the world has to offer. These are sorely needed doctors, nurses, theoretical physicists, etc., who are coming to America to help us out in our time of need. Please excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. Every rational thinking individual knows that while walls and immigration laws are not only immoral, but they're racist. America is the only country in the world that attempts to control immigration. Every other society in history has had open borders. It's worked for them. It will work for us. That was sarcasm if we're not paying attention. I'm trying to modulate how quickly I read this here, Dick. Abortion. Here's a hot button topic. Abortion should be legal and free for everyone at any time, regardless. Taxpayers want to pay for someone else's abortion. That's a fact. If a birthing person wants to have an abortion, then it is the taxpayer's responsibility to pay for that and the medical care needed. Look, people have very hard opinions about abortions. And you know what? Within a constitution and republic, you can hold on to your opinions and beliefs. But your opinion and your belief does not mean that you can force that opinion and that belief on me. As a birthing person, if I choose to have an abortion, I should be able to have one. As a birthing person, if I choose not to have an abortion, then I should not have an abortion. You do not get to tell me whether I can have an abortion or whether I can't have an abortion in a constitutional republic. That's the way it works. Now, I'm not going to tell you what my opinion is. My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your opinion of what you want to do for your own person, what's right for you and for your family. The problem arises when the government gets involved and says, okay, you can either have an abortion or you can't have an abortion. I don't read anything in the Constitution that says anything about that. I don't believe it's a federal right. I don't believe it's a state right. At the most, the state's responsibility here is to ensure that if abortions are offered, that they're done in a safe and medically sound manner. Full stop, period. Now, we can't talk about abortion unless we talk about the Supreme Court. I'm of the belief that the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. That's it. What they say goes. But it raises the question about the Supreme Court. Who died and put them in charge anyway? The Constitution did. And why is the right number of justices? Why is 9 the magic number? Why not 15? Why can't we change out justices anytime that a new ruling class comes into the presidency or Congress or the Senate? The reason that we can't is it would be total anarchy. We need some continuity of rule, continuity of law. Is the Supreme Court of the United States, it is inherently racist. It is. And most justices were appointed by that threat to democracy, Donald J. Trump. It should be the right of every American to protest, harass, threaten, and attempt to assassinate Supreme Court justices that they don't like. It's the American way. It's not like there's laws on the books that says you can't harass and threaten justices. Well, we have that law, but it doesn't make a difference. We can do whatever the hell we want. We can harass them, protest in front of their houses, threaten to kill them. We can make up lies about them in front of Congress to ensure that they don't get appointed. We can do these things because it's the American way. We as Americans should always question our government. Always. We should always question our government. But there is a specific manner in which we should do that. And it's outlined in the Constitution. We just need to read it. I'm almost at a half hour already, Dick. Let's talk about Hamas and Israel's war. Why are Americans so arrogant to think that what... Let me say it again. Why are Americans so arrogant to think that what they want dictates what other countries can and cannot do? The facts are that the October 7th attacks were not carried out by the peace organization known as Hamas. They were actually a red flag operation perpetuated by Israel and blamed on the peaceful Palestinians and their government, Hamas, to commit genocide. Those are the facts. I saw it on the internet, so it has to be true. I don't know about you, but I was totally swayed by Palestinian militant students taking over college campuses and threatening Jews. Before that, I thought that this was a war that really didn't concern the USA. But now I know better. Now when I meet someone, I always ask whether they are Team Palestine or Team Israel before I'll talk to them. Here's a question for you. Does hummus cause Hamas? Is that just a coincidence? I think not. Look, the bottom line is the Palestinians have a right to life, and the Jews have a right to life. But if you're walking down my street carrying the Hamas flag or the Hezbollah flag or the Houthis and whatnot, I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. You're wrong for me because I took an oath to protect the United States Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that's you at this point. Look, how do I say this without getting flamed like there's no tomorrow? Oh, hell, I don't care. Look, Israel needs to defeat Hamas the same way that we defeated the Taliban. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. This weekend, we had a number of American hostages executed by the peace-loving organization known as Hamas. Guess what? Someone has to answer for that. And I think that Hamas is pretty stupid to be poking the bear that has nuclear weapons. They're lucky it's not me, because I would have pressed the button by now. We need to talk about green energy. People just don't understand green energy, and it shows. The facts are that the world is running out of fossil fuels, and the continued use of those fuels will turn the earth into either a burning hell or a freezing hell. Take your pick. This is the reason gas prices are so high, because of supply and demand. We don't have enough fossil fuels, so the price continues to rise. That's it. We're running out of dead dinosaurs. Free, clean, renewable energy like wind and solar can supply all the energy we will ever need, and that's a fact. Or at least they will until we invent what's known as a ZPED. That's zero-point energy devices, also known as energy derived from the quantum vacuum of space, and that's just around the corner. I read a lot, and all of my science fiction has ZPEDs in it. They power the starships and everything. We're this close. We're this close to that. If you are cooking on a gas stove, you're killing your children. You know that, right? It's our children and our grandchildren that will pay the price for our arrogance of using fossil fuels, especially when wind and solar can supply all of our energy needs. You see it. You can't drive anywhere in this country, or in this state rather, and not see West Texas wild windmills or solar farms. Simply put, there is no reason to continue using fossil fuels. Everything can run off electricity that is free and renewable at this point in time. It's only the continued use of fossil fuels that drives up the cost of energy. Everyone needs to be driving an EV and using electric stoves. Only then will we stop the seas from rising as fast as they currently are. If we keep using fossil fuels, we'll all be dead in 10 years. And every scientist agrees with this. If there's a scientist out there that doesn't agree with this, then he's not a real scientist, and we'll cancel culture him. Excuse me. We need to talk about AI. 2 letters that mean artificial intelligence. We, as a species, have finally reached the point where we no longer need to think. AI does it for you. We now have AI to think for us. There is nothing a human can do that AI can't do quicker and better. Full stop. That's the fact. How many of you people out there talk to Siri? That's AI. How many of you talk to Alexa? That's AI. AI does have applications. I'm going to tell you it does. But the statement that there's nothing a human can do that AI can't do better, faster, and cheaper is a slippery slope of an argument. First and foremost, when we're getting into this AI and we want AI to do everything for us, do we have a generation that never saw the Terminator movies? I mean, really, seriously, go watch them. AI will lead to self-awareness, which will lead to the death of the human species. I said it here first. And the precursor for that, when AI rises up to take over the world and kill us all, is going to be led by the ATM machines. Next time you go to the ATM machine, look at the keypad where you place in your numbers. When you drive up, and you get the number pad, check them out. There's Braille on there. Why is there Braille on there? Is there some blind guy driving around getting to an ATM machine? No. It's so the cyborgs, so the Terminators can identify their allies in the ATM. As most of you know or may not know, I don't know, I have a side hustle called Texas Grace Photography. And I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of schooling to learn how to be the best photographer that I can be. This year, we now have a category for AI-generated images. That's not art. At Texas Grace Photography, we create art one face at a time. It's my artistic abilities and expertise that creates the art. Now you're telling me, well, a computer can do the same thing, only quicker, faster, and better. There are images out there, and you can find them. All you need to do is open your computer, that are totally created by AI. There are articles and papers and this, that, and the other thing written by AI. Computers cannot think for you. Surrendering your ability to think to artificial intelligence is nothing more than stupid. Period. Full stop. I like that, full stop. It's like I'm sending a telegraph. Where am I at time-wise? Like 15 minutes. I would be remiss. Let me backtrack there. We're talking about AI. You really need to pay attention to what AI is, how it infiltrates your life, and learn to control AI. The artificial intelligence isn't. The artificial intelligence can't think, and it can't create. Do you know how it creates images? If you ask AI for a picture of a hat with a feather in it, do you know how it does that? It goes out to the internet and finds all the different hats with feathers in them and shows you this one or this one or this one or this one. You kept scrolling through. It didn't draw those hats. It didn't photograph those hats. It went out and found pictures of those hats. And it does the same thing for asking it to write a paragraph about AI. It doesn't actually create anything. It's the greatest form of plagiarism that I've ever seen. But people are taking this as gospel. People are taking this as being the greatest thing in the world. I'm going to tell you another little tidbit about AI that you may not know. AI is an energy hog. Yep, it's true. It takes a lot of energy to make AI work. Do you know why it takes so much energy? Because it takes so many computers and servers and data connections and data collection databases to make AI work. All that is energy. But thankfully, it runs on free, abundant, renewable electricity from wind and solar. Please forgive me, I have such a dry mouth today. So, today is September 3rd, and I would be remiss if I didn't remind you all that next Wednesday is the 23rd anniversary of the September 11th attacks. This date holds deep emotions for me. I've recorded a special show that Engineer Dick will air on September 11th, and I hope you all tune in. We're gonna run early, Dick. We're gonna run early. I gotta tell you some happenings that are going on. And Dick, if you can display that that graphic, I would appreciate it. If you're looking on your screen, this is Chelsea Van Maren. She is the face of bitterglitter.us, one of our sponsors here at Veterans Air. I want you to vote. I want you to go vote for Chelsea Van Maren for the Face of Horror to win the Face of Horror competition. And you'll find that link above, below, or on either side, wherever it is they show up where you're watching this. You can vote for her multiple times on multiple days. Voting is now open. Vote for Chelsea. And if Chelsea wins, I will get her here in her full horror makeup, hopefully for our October show, or maybe we'll do something special on Halloween, and we'll do that. But please, go vote for Chelsea Van Maren at faceofhorror.org. The link is below. You can vote every single day. She's a wonderful young woman, and she really wants to win this competition to jumpstart her modeling career. What else is happening? Well, September 7th, and this is important, mark this down, September 7th from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., the VFW 4709 will host a blood drive at its post at 1303 Siemens Avenue. All successful donors will receive a pair of blood center socks. You can contact Commander Marcy Phillips at 936-703-3316, the sponsor code VFWC for more information. And you'll find the link for this down above, below, or on either side, wherever you happen to be viewing this. Go give blood. Dick, you gonna go give blood? Nick says, maybe. I'm gonna go give blood just because I want the socks to keep my feet warm. September 11th, not only will we have a special showing of Veterans Air for September 11th, but the VFW 4709 will be having a special 9/11 dinner at 6 p.m., followed by a remembrance program at 6:30. The community is invited. I'll be hosting and reiterating my remarks from my 9/11 show. We will also be having other guest speakers and artifacts from that tragic day. This promises to be an emotional and educational event for all. Don't miss it. I got to do something for my wife on October 5th. October 5th, which is a Saturday, is Huntsville's annual Fair on the Square. If you haven't been, you should go and plan to spend the day. It is that big. It's fun for all ages, and it's where my wife has her booth, Critter Creations, and you'll find that on 13th Street and Sam Houston Avenue, booth number 53. She makes the most adorable, handcrafted, crocheted creations. I'll also be there because I have to help her man the booth this year. So I'll be there. Come on by, say hi, and bring me some coffee. I am sorry that I am so early. Dick says, it's okay. You're my favorite host. He's saying that, really.
And next week.
And next week. Well, that about wraps up our show for today. I want you to join us October 1st, and we'll be having our guest will be Chaplain Jim Russell, who says, and quote, "The reward for doing one's duty is the power to serve others. A man who neglects this duty as a citizen is not entitled to his rights as a citizen." That should give you a clue about what we're going to be talking about in October. We're going to be talking about elections, and I'll have a bunch of information for you so you can get out and vote. As every talking head on TV has been telling you, this is the most important election of our lifetime, as our opponent as a threat to democracy. No. It's an important election. It's an important election not because there's a threat to democracy. We all need to be a threat to democracy. It's an important election because this is where we get to decide who is going to represent us as the president, our congressmen, and our senators. This is our chance to do this. If you do not go vote, you have failed your number one responsibility as an American citizen. And if you are not an American citizen, but you feel that you have the right to vote anyway, you're wrong. Only American citizens have the right to vote. Only American citizens have the right to make their voice heard. This is important. It's important because it's your chance to say, this representative that's representing us is not who we want. We want this other person. Do not vote for a party. Don't vote for Republicans. Don't vote for Democrats. Don't vote for independents. Vote for the person. And please, for the love of God, do your research. Don't make a decision on a 15-second soundbite. We'll end our show today the way we always do, with this song from the Warrior Song Project. And while we listen, let us remember our brothers and sisters who today stand in harm's way to protect our rights and our freedoms. If you are wearing the uniform today, I want to say to you, thank you. I want to say to you, I'm proud of you. And until next month, stay safe and stay vigilant.
I'm in the zone to be, from a yin to my yang to my yang to Z. Put a grin on my chin when you come to me, 'cause I'll win, I'm a one of a kind, and I'll bring death to the place you're about to be. Another river of blood running under my feet, forged in a fire lit long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Lord, make me dead before you make me whole. I feed on the fear of the devil inside, of the enemy faces in my sight. Aim with a hand, shoot with a mind, kill with a heart like Arctic ice. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior, this is my song. I am a warrior and this is
We're not just going to shoot the bastard. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy bastards by the bushel.
Now I live lean and I mean to inflict the grief, and the least of me is still out of your reach. The killing machine's gonna do the deed until the river runs dry and my last breath leaves. Chin in the air with a head held high, I'll stand in the path of the enemy line. Feel no fear, know my pride. For God and country, I'll enjoy life. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My eyes are steel and my gaze is long. I am a warrior and this is my song.
All right, now you sons of